Now we're going to try this again. Power and Speed, we're back. 908-751-0211. Thomas is not here tonight. He is in Las Vegas at the SEME show. Which,
he ditched us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't blame Icon. I'd rather be in Las Vegas, too. Crunch and Tatter here. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Mike?
Not much.
Big Dog Tom is not here.
Yeah, and I haven't decided yet. I'd like to go just to kind of wander around, and it would be welcome to go to Las Vegas and not have to, contend with a trade show. Because when
the SEME show.
Yeah, to the SEME show.
Right.
Because when you go to a trade show and you're working, like with me, I went from kind of dirtbag car guy to like high scale electronics guy. And I remember the first time I had to go to CES, I was like, didn't know what to expect. Right. And that was when like the guy dropped on me like 3 days before I had to go. He's like, you can't wear like a polo shirt or anything like that. And I'm looking at my suitcase with like polo shirts and shit in it. Cause that was like the fanciest shit that I had. You know what I mean? The only other suits I had were for funerals.
Right.
And he's like, look, this is suit and tie. He's like, kind of fairly formal. So bring your suits. I'm like, fuck. I mean, right to the Men's Warehouse. You got to help me.
Right. Gotcha.
So the first time I went there, I didn't know what it was going to be like. And then it turned into some very surprising high level conversations. And I had the like, what the fuck am I doing here moment.
Oh, okay.
So now the reason I say all that is because when you go to trade shows and you're working with certain types of clientele, I would be more at home in an automotive one. I mean, I could do either now, but like after the trade show's over, like after the show day, you might be going out to dinner with a chip manufacturer. Right. I mean, these aren't guys that, look, we're going to do.
Right, so you still be doing business after the show.
Yeah. And you're not going to a place where like with a group of guys, it's like, oh yeah, we move, $1 million a year. No. Like, 50, 60, 70, or, possibly well into the hundreds of millions a year. I remember the first time I had to sit down and had a discussion with Comcast. Okay. Comcast. And I'm like, wow. I was like, this is one of the chief technology guys for Comcast distribution services. And I'm like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. So Tom, probably kind of the same thing. Like during a trade show, he's got to do his trade show thing. And part of it's friends, you get to see all the people that you haven't seen.
So Tom is out there suited and booted with a tie and everything?
No, because it's automotive. Listen, people are fucked up. Right. People are funny. Like if you went to a trade show for automotive stuff and you had a suit and tie on, if you were maybe like a marketing company or you were a business development company of some kind, you could probably expect you to be in there in a suit. But if you were going to talk to a guy about pistons, you'd look at the guy in a suit and be like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're not a get your hands dirty type of person.
Right.
So you don't want to, I understand.
So you slide your environment. Like when we do a trade show, or we didn't do it this year, we did all the years before, CEDIA, Consumer Electronics Installation and Design.
Right.
And, like everybody, like what they knew about trade shows from this company that I work with was everybody suits. So the first time I got to do it, I said, look, we're going to wear regular clothes because look around at all the booths. People aren't here in suits. People aren't here with ties. They might have a jacket on, but like jeans, just regular looking people. And then you know what? More people come up and talk to you because they're not intimidated.
Right.
They feel better.
And they don't feel out of place.
No. So the reason for bringing all that up is that it would be nice to go to Las Vegas as Mike instead of Mike, the guy representing this company, and just go kind of fuck around. I mean, it's an amazing city. If listeners haven't been there and they kind of had the thought of Vegas like I did, like sleazy, full of hookers, it's
Mike, you watch too much TV, Mike.
Yeah, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. City's beautiful. It's clean. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, I think my friend Brandon Switzer is out there with Switzer Dynamics.
Yeah, probably a lot of the guys are out there for this. But yeah, it's. I mean, the thing that was the most amazing the first time I went there. I'm a country boy. I don't.
Are you?
Yeah. Look around, dude. I got more deer on my front lawn than the Bronx Zoo.
That was my sarcastic input.
But
I agree.
when I went there the first time, I was like, oh God, Las Vegas. I'm like, ugh. Like felt like I'm, going to have to take a shower like 30 times a day. And then I found out everybody's fucking happy. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's having a good time. It's real different environment.
Yeah, that strip, a lot of food, everything's good. A lot of gambling. Not that you went to gamble.
Listen, I've been there.
There's a White Castle there now.
2 times a year for probably 6 years. 6, maybe 7. Never gambled once.
Yeah.
No, just, I mean, I know it, I guess if it's what you're into, you would, but I just didn't.
Well, those SEME shows are good because they give you the latest in technology. They give you everything that you wouldn't ordinarily see. Things that are coming out, it lets you know where to go with your future projects.
And I imagine, like I was saying this before, and we were talking amongst ourselves that, I wanted to go, like, I like the tools. I like the equipment and the things that are associated with things like this, like dynos and machines. What I mean?
Right,
I'd like to see all that shit more than I'd like to see a set of pistons. No offense, Tom.
Right.
I mean? That's what I like. So, as most people know, we lost the show from last week. I would love to, I would take the blame for it 100% if I did something wrong. I had the show open. It had captured. Everything had done perfect. And I happened to be talking to Tom, and he goes, when are you going to get it mixed? I said, I'll do it, tonight. I'll stay up and I'll do it. And the Apple came up with some kind of application error, unexpected shutdown. The thing just rebooted. I'm like, oh, shit. And it's done that a million times before, and everything's been just dandy.
Right.
But this time, gone. All the files are corrupt. Can't open any of them.
Well, it's not your fault.
I know, but certain times when things happen, you learn a lesson from it.
Right.
So the lesson is, in the equipment rack is also now a 2-channel digital to audio recorder that's pulling in digital that would essentially be the feed from Mixler. And Mixler is recording what we're sending out, which, to be honest with you, I don't even know how it sounds.
Right. I got you.
I hope it sounds as good as I'd like. I spent some time trying to get it right, but it's tough to do it and listen at the same time. So I'm one way or the other. I apologize, but this will never happen again.
Well, Mike, it's not your fault. Now, episode 35, we're still waiting on.
Yeah, and that was my fault. I effed that up. I really didn't, but I'll take the blame for it. The board crashed, the mixing desk. I don't know why. Nobody knows why shit happens. Blew the settings back in it that we always use. But the problem is I didn't realize the settings were from like 8 months ago. So all the refinements and changes I made, and then I realized it partway through, and I said, okay, tap, 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 and I changed some of the shit. So then now, like, there's changes happening in the audio throughout the show, and I didn't stop to think what kind of editing nightmare that's going to be.
Right. I got you. Well, listen, the listeners know it's not your fault. We're not a professional broadcasting system.
No, that's for damn sure.
But we are getting close.
No,
and the car guys, they want action.
Everybody out there has to understand. I finally succumbed and I bought an iPhone.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. We're gonna we're not professional broadcasters.
Let's get into the car guy stuff, not the iPhone.
How come when we're sitting here talking amongst ourselves, you have a normal voice? Now, I mean, I don't want to sound like anybody that listen to Dr. Drew and Adam and everything. Adam is constantly tooling on Drew or Dr. Spaz or any of these guys because Drew will be making noise or your voice changes when we're live. Tad. You get like quieter and you're like, me.
It must be the iPhone.
See, there you're talking quiet again. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Where is your Subaru?
It's in back.
The one that was in the condo parking lot?
It's sitting in back because I haven't been able to touch it yet.
All right. Why don't you explain to the listeners why your Subaru is here?
Ooh, hang on. That is the throb of a turbocharged flat 4 engine. A sound which all over the world heralds the imminent arrival of a moron.
There's your intro, Tad.
Now, here's my question. Did you hear it pulling that way?
No.
Because it was trailered here. Because it was sitting in a parking lot for 2 years and it does not wish to start again.
Mike couldn't wait to hit you with that.
Where was this parking lot?
My friend's condo development. Where he told me I just park it there. He sold his condo, he moved out, and, well, I just left the car there.
How long just so the listeners are clear what people that deal with Tad deal with. How long ago did he move out of the condo complex?
A year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that.
Okay. So
So you just left the car
But
there.
they was still sitting there when he lived there, so.
The normal person would have gotten a garage, put it in the garage, or something
Why?
like that. You left it right outside.
No, it's in a parking lot. Big whoop. It's
That-
a car. It's
and
not an
you
animal.
don't live in that vicinity. You just left it there.
It's called free parking.
Now that's some car guy stuff for your ass right there.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm coming up on 80 cars I've owned since I got a driver's license. So it's like,
Wow.
got to be fun to park in places.
and I would love to tell you, everybody, that they've gotten better over the years, and I don't know if that's the case. Because let me tell you, Todd, I'm not trying to hate, but that thing is pretty fucking
Well, it's
rough.
because it sat out under a bush for 2 years
It actually has like mold
on
growing
on the headlights.
on the headlights.
Man,
I got to polish them. But anyway,
I'm gonna put rest in peace on it. Now, speaking of rest in peace,
no,
we were talking about
no, it gets better. We have a little bet here. Somebody that's not a Subaru person thinks, 20 minutes he can have the thing running. I'm taking this bet.
Tad,
Yes.
listen,
you're gonna bet dinner on that.
all motors are an air pump, so they got to get fuel, they got to get spark,
You said with the gas that's in it.
with the gas that's in it. 2 years time sitting, which is what you keep insisting. It was
Right.
2 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
If it was 2 years, there is no way, unless there was a rag stuffed in the gas cap, which is with you a potential possibility.
No.
Yeah, I would say that there is no way that fuel is bad. No way.
Or it will still ignite, is what you're saying.
Yep. You've got something goofy. Something happened. You did change a battery, and I know there was this confusion about changing the battery and hooking up all the wires or something. I mean, I don't know why it's a battery. How many wires could be on the battery?
Oh, lots.
Why?
It's got a stereo. Had a stereo.
Does it have an alarm?
Yeah.
Does it have an ignition kill?
Yeah, but it ran with ether.
Okay. And no chance that during this
No.
battery jump start and all this other crap and boost box or whatever the hell you did, that there's no chance the alarm got triggered. And does it have a siren?
Alarm's off.
You
I mean,
sure?
off.
Well, we have to make sure we make that bet legit.
10 minutes to familiarize myself with the car.
Right.
And make sure that there's nothing like, look, I just want to touch a starter, make sure it cranks, because you drove it on a trailer with a starter, right?
Well, the starter and the trailer pulley couldn't pull me all the way up, so I had to help it with the starter.
Okay. So I'm sure the NASIOC guys are thrilled about this one, let me tell you. But I want 10 minutes to familiarize myself with the car. And I mean, by that, I mean, I want to know where the fuse box is. I
Right.
want to know if you even have a map to the fuses. Just basic stuff.
It's got a little cover that comes
And
off.
after that 10 minutes has expired, I won't do any work on the car. After that 10 minutes has expired, I want you to start the stopwatch again.
Mhm.
And I want 10 minutes, and I bet I can have that car running.
We're there.
Now I'm biting off a lot here
Right,
because
right,
you see what we're dealing with Tad.
And you see who the mechanic was prior to you
Yes,
doing this. Okay.
exactly. Exactly.
Well, that's going to be something for us to look forward to in the future. Now, Mike, you were telling me about the actor.
No help with Tom either. He's totally
I
separate.
don't think he'd be a lot of help
I
either.
don't think
He's
he-
going to get told on because he's not here.
I don't think he
Okay.
wants to touch your Subaru, bro.
No.
Right.
Well, he doesn't touch his either. So.
Well, you were telling me about the actor
Yeah.
that passed away.
And did I post it on Facebook? Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most car guys would know that one particular movie.
Yeah, but you see, I gave you the line and you didn't know it. Did you ever watch the movie?
Right. I watched
I
the
didn't.
movie and I remember I watched it quite a few times, but when you said it, when I read it, it didn't come to me. Now that was a long time ago.
Now listen, my brother is not the, how do you say it, not the sharpest knife in a drawer or something, you know.
Are you tooling on Brian?
No, a little bit. But Brian is one of those guys that, you know, he pays attention to some stuff, but not as much as, you know, if you were really into it, you'd pay more attention. But there's things like, there's people that just pick up things around them that are sponges, and there's people that are just kind of there.
Right.
Brian, I would have bet that Brian wouldn't have picked this up, but I sent the movie line to him, and he goes, "Oh my God, that guy died?"
Wow.
He knew right away. I got to give him credit for that. But anyway, what we're talking about, it was Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
And the gentleman's name was Fred Thompson,
Right.
which some people that aren't car guys would know him from Law and Order. He was, I guess, the DA, like the main prosecutor guy.
Right. Another great sitcom.
Yeah, and he was, well, I don't know if I call it a sitcom. Kind of dark.
Well, I don't know.
Tad, you dying over there?
Yeah, popcorn.
I used to watch that. Law and Order was tough.
Yeah, Law and Order, and it was, and you know, little bit older now, a little dated, but still in reruns. But he, you know, I mean, so car guys might not know him from there, but they'd know him overall. Right. But that Days of Thunder line, I mean, he was the director of NASCAR, and he was a perfect director of NASCAR.
Right.
You know, good old boy. You know, you could hear, because he was born, I believe, in Tennessee.
Right. Okay.
So you could hear the Southern good old boy, you know, redneck racer come right out of him. And the line was, and I want to make sure I get it right, if you two want to turn yourselves into and he actually said like greasy, not greasy, like greasy spot on a country road somewhere, go right ahead. I don't give a shit. I don't think anybody else does, regardless of what they say to your face.
Right.
That was a perfect line for trying to get two retarded circle track racers to knock it the fuck off.
Right.
That was great. But anyway.
And that was when they rented the two cars and both cars pulled up at the hotel and they were just torn up because they just trashed those cars.
Yes.
The sad thing is, like I said, that was me in sport going up to Findurn on that stretch, beating the hell out of a Granada in my Fairmont.
Yeah. And I mean, we did some shit like that. We did some, somebody's writing something. Like, you'll be a miracle worker if you get that car running tonight. Obviously, your fan base is starting to understand exactly who Thaddeus is. That's funny.
So
I'm sorry, Todd. I know I'm tolling on you, but I can't help it.
The Mixler guy doesn't have any faith in you?
No, meaning he's got more faith in Tad fucking shit up than he does in me probably getting it working. That's how that was meant.
No, if I could have had it running, it would have been running.
Yeah. But like that was a shame, man, to see that guy passed away. And the funny thing is that, you know, maybe car guys are somewhat oblivious to a lot of it. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten more into politics. Crunch, you know, I fucking bend your ear and half the shit all the time anyway.
Right.
But that guy actually ran for president. He actually ran for president.
When he ran for president?
12? I think it was 12. Might have been 12.
I didn't even know it.
It was either 12 or it was a term before. I think it was 12. When did McCain run?
He ran against Obama, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
the first term. Yeah,
that might have been when. But
so that's 2008 to 2012, and then 2012.
Yeah, so it might have been 8. And he was also, I believe, and I hate to say this because here I am talking so highly about the guy, but I think he might have been a senator. He was like, I mean,
right. He was deep in politics.
Yeah.
And we know him for the line that he gave in Days of Thunder.
Yep. And if it wasn't for the political side, there's no way this man's name would have been on Fox News where I saw he actually passed away. Right. That's how I saw it. Right. But, you know, rest in peace, man. He was a great actor.
Yeah, great actor.
Great character actor. I thought he was fantastic. And to me, he was one of the funniest parts of that movie.
That was a good car guy movie, too.
It was, but, you know, the circle track guys kind of look at that and they're like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, well, it was a love story. As opposed to just about the cars. He had a love story in there, you know?
Yeah.
No, Talladega Nights.
Now listen. I know
Talladega Nights?
Ugh.
Oh, my
That
God.
was awesome.
Listen.
What was it, Frank? What was something Bobby?
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
Shake and bake.
I don't understand. Like, look, that guy's humor, Will Ferrell, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
He was in like the movie Old School, which was good.
And Step Brothers.
His humor is definitely him.
Different, yes. But that was like over the top, extra retard put in place.
Like they were mocking the NASCAR guys.
I got through that movie, and if I could have found an email address for the producer of that movie, I would have told him I wanted my money back or my time back. It was that bad.
It was funny though.
But I told my NASCAR enthralled cousins in Florida to watch that movie. They thought it was a documentary and they were appalled by how you can't race a car backwards and beat another guy. I was like, it's a comedy.
It was an awful movie. Awful. And the only people that followed it, I'm sorry if we have listeners that liked it and they think it was great, you're a moron. I don't know what to say.
Oh,
it was great.
Listen, I'm not worried about hating on people. I think I need to get back to a little more of that. So, yeah, I mean, car movies and like you want to talk about a love story, you know.
Don't bring up the
I have to.
You about to bring up Happy Days?
I have to.
Yes.
Oh, man. I am a fan of Pinky Tuscadero from Happy Days. When I was a kid, Pinky was cool.
Oh, God.
The Fonz was cool, you know, but Pinky,
Hey.
come on, man. He did the jump and broke his legs just for Pinky.
Now,
Over the garbage cans.
I never really got into Happy Days, but there wasn't much on it about really cars.
No?
No, I mean,
the
there was,
Fonz.
Well, the
His
Fonz
garage.
used to have that hot motorcycle.
That's a motorcycle.
I don't remember what it was, though.
That's a motorcycle.
Was it a Harley? Had to be a Harley.
Probably. That's a motorcycle.
But it was tough. He rode it into the restaurant one time.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That's a
It wasn't
motorcycle.
even a Harley. It was a freaking Triumph, wasn't it?
It was a Triumph?
I think so.
Oh, Lord. Fonza, really.
Yeah, I'm was never a big fan of Happy Days.
He had a
That's for
nice
sure.
leather coat.
Hang on a
And
minute.
he hung out in the bathroom.
Pinky Tuscadero. I don't even remember what she looks like, but she was hot to me as a kid. That's all I know.
All right, we got a caller. Either that or we got a listener. Hang on a minute.
Uh-oh.
Hey, buddy, you got something for us? Because we're just here winging it today. We got no guest. We got nothing.
Well, yeah, I was going to, speaking of the Happy Days segue, dude, don't know if y'all caught the Street Outlaws show last Monday, but do we think it's finally jumped the shark with racing in the rain
Okay.
Yeah.
last Monday?
All right. Now, I'm not hip to this, so why don't you explain to me what happened? Because I had no offense. I believe the caller more than I believe you.
Good.
As far as, so,
Fine with me.
so, caller, go ahead. Explain what happened.
Supposedly they made a trip to Kansas City to race these guys, and a call out. Well, it starts raining, and you can see the rain on the windshield, and these guys are making passes.
Yep.
And claiming legitimate passes in the rain. And matter of fact, Doc even goes before the light because he's like, I saw the rain on the windshield. I got nervous, so I made the pass. And I'm like, well, okay, would that necessarily be the thing to do if you got rain coming on your windshield? That's the smart thing to do, is to leave early and make a pass.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but
I mean, we hate on the show sometimes, and then Tom went to the show and he gave us a little respect for the show. So I'm not surprised. This is Crunch. I'm not surprised, but I swear the show is just like, it's a mockery of what really goes on, and I just don't respect it.
Well, and not only that, they show up and they say that, you know, they have the pro mods run
yeah.
two small tire cars and say that their cars weren't there when you see their cars in the background, both the Crow and the Nova in the background, but yet they won't run the two pro mods that they put on the street in the rain against two small tire cars.
Right.
So you think those guys just didn't want to run their cars in the rain?
That's just, I don't know if they just, like I said, I don't know if they just, they consider the watchers, the people that watch it to be, you know, to not be that much of car people to understand that, and that they watch it for entertainment and take it for what it is. And if you take it for what it is, it's a show. It's a show. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Right.
You know, but it's hard to take something legitimate when you've got, and then what's bad is everybody starts calling them out on it, and then Chief has to post on, you know, on a thing that, hey, the producers made us say that and all this, and
Oh man.
okay, who's got a hold of the show now? You know,
Right. Well, caller,
you know,
where are you from? What part of the country are you from?
actually, I'm in southeast Missouri,
Southeast Missouri. Okay. Well,
right in between St. Louis and Kansas and I'm sorry, Memphis and St. Louis.
right. Well, you sound like an official car guy, so you know the difference in entertainment and reality, right?
Right, exactly.
So I had to learn, just like these guys here on our podcast, it's entertainment, and it's only so much Hollywood can do to bring the real stuff to TV, because they're not really looking for reality. They're looking for
Right.
Viewers and ratings.
Well, you know what the real problem here is? They're trying to make something entertaining. And, you know, I hate to go back and hate on the Subaru guys again, but like watching that thing, it wasn't particularly entertaining. And it's almost like, I know a lot of people like baseball, but baseball 9 times out of 10 is the pitcher and the batter. I mean, the pitcher and the catcher playing catch. It's not fast paced. It's not anything. Okay. So you got 2 cars come up, they make a pass, and then there's like, okay, we sit there, you know, until the next cars are lined up or whatever. It's not, and NHRA's found this. It's not a very good spectator sport on TV. And I think what the producers of Street Outlaws had in mind is all the back end to the actual racing that goes on, quote unquote, on the street. So they're trying. I got to give them credit. I think they're trying to find ways to make racing more interesting.
Right, yeah, but they blew it out of the water by bringing pro mods. I mean, full-on drag pro mod cars against the two small tire cars, doing funny car burnouts. It's like,
But that's what got me is, like I said, it's just, at what point do you consider it just completely entertainment? And I give these guys props because remember they actually went out to Memphis, put small tires. Chief and Sean actually went out and qualified in Outlaw 275.
right.
And that's a tough class.
Yeah. Now let me say something about that 275. X275 type classes. That's a tough effing class.
Right.
For those guys to be able to do that. I'm going to go back.
That's like taking a top fuel dragster to throw some 275s on it, and whatever he does is impressive.
You know what?
It's not.
Let the top fuel dragster put 275 tires on it. Let's see how
it's really
he does.
not impressive in the scheme of things.
Yeah, but
they're supposed to be fast, period, but they're just a little slower because the tire is limited. I can't go with that.
I think the tire is a huge equalizer, dude. I disagree completely.
Right,
I'll tell you this, that the way that I look at everything, and here goes Mike offending probably 90% of the people out there again.
Oh, Lord.
If you're going to have a game, you have to have rules. You can't have a friggin' game without rules.
Right.
You can't be playing basketball and then decide, okay, look, I'm going to punch the guy in the face and then be able to score a basket. No, it's not allowed.
Right.
So when you're drag racing and there's a class defined and there's defined rules, now it's you versus them. You need to outthink them, not necessarily in cheating, but creative ways, either within gray areas or within white areas, to make more power and do better.
Right. Well, these are supposed to be true street racers or true grudge racers for cash. And you and I know, none of us would go out and just jump into 275 because we're showing something. So we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But they're doing that for more entertainment.
Well, they're doing that because what they're trying to do is they're trying to further their brand. Tom basically told us those guys don't get paid. The show isn't handing them, $50,000 an episode.
They don't get paid.
No.
They have, you see the motors and the names of the motors, those motors are given to them.
Okay.
That's payment enough when you get a $90,000 motor put in your car. You're getting something.
But understand that those payments are like those things are the perks of them being in front of everybody, being on TV.
Right.
They ain't getting paid.
Okay.
Well, and they're making money from appearances and stuff like that.
Right. And different tracks pay them.
But getting free stuff and getting paid to show up somewhere and do what you love. That might as well be, that's the perfect job, is it not?
Yeah, that beats a sharp stick in the eye. I wouldn't want to. Well, I'm a hillbilly, aren't I?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting paid to just show up because, hey, I'm Mike.
Right.
Here I am, and look at my car. That's a nice deal.
True indeed. Well, Carla, what kind of car do you have?
Well, I used to have several cars. We used to do Outlaw 10.5 stuff. Start out in easy street stuff back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right. Okay.
And matter of fact, just this last weekend, I don't know if you guys heard, but somebody just went on 275s, went 410 at 183 over the weekend.
Wow.
With 275s?
With 275s.
What track was that?
I'm thinking it was either Holly Springs.
Oh, okay, in the South.
Or, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the classes are getting to the point, I had a buddy that has been racing for many years, and he's like, man, is there any class that's budget minded for any heads up anymore? And we're like, not really.
No. And this is the hard thing about racing. And we talked about it in the past. This is why bracket racing came out, because everything will take a path. And I've had this conversation with circle track racers. I've had it with drag racers. A class comes out and it's going to be wonderful because they're going to keep costs down. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. But once there's a limit put on something, then technology finds a way around the limit within the rules. And guess what? If you can do that, now you got to pay for it.
Right. So now the guys with the mega bucks always come straight to the top.
Very hard to stop money.
Yeah.
And that's what got me out of bracket racing, because when it got to the point of, you go up there and you've got a delay timer on your burnout. You come out, you start your burnout, it ends at the same time. You get up to the line, you hit the trans brake, you let off the trans brake with the delay box, you go down, shifts automatically. I mean, it wasn't any fun anymore.
Yeah, I mean, why doesn't let's just hand the driver a friggin' remote control and let him sit in the grandstands and eat popcorn? That's stupid.
Exactly.
Right.
Racing should not be that. It should be man and machine. You could say, well, machine created the timers and all the other stuff. Look, that to me, the delay box stuff, the double crossovers, you let go of this button. If you blow it, you can cancel it and let go on this. I mean, that's insane.
Right.
And then,
the Outlaw 10.5 class used to be exciting. Well, when Dave Hance used to have it at Englishtown, it was the shakedown. And, man, that was some exciting racing.
I still think it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, they canceled. They don't have it anymore.
Like, you got cars going, 420s on regularly now on 275s. You got cars going 430s on the new MX 235 class with that little 8-inch, drag radial. Now somebody's actually trying a class that's actually supposed to, the word on the street is it's going to be true radial only, no drag radials used.
And you see, here's what happens with that shit too, because
that gets dangerous. Though.
It does get dangerous.
All the power.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah.
All that power skating around on the top end. That's dangerous.
Well, and that's where things get tough. And there's a bunch of lessons here from a racer. Nobody wants to go slower. Nobody wants to have a motor that makes less power. Nobody wants shit taken away from them. They're always trying to go faster and faster and faster. Probably because part of it is they're looking for that rush. Now, if that rush is coming unglued at 160 with radials under your ass, you can keep it. Not my bag.
That's dangerous.
Well, what if I told you I've already seen guys go 130, 60 foot on a true radial off the shelf?
I'm not saying it can't happen, but
I'm not shocked at that.
It's dangerous, yes.
Yeah.
That's a car capable of going to 105, 103.
They're taking these radials off the street, off the shelf already, and treating them with brake cleaner and MCAP and VHT and stuff.
They're already cheating.
Getting these, and already, exactly. So, like I said, where does it ever stop? I mean, how do you at what point does it just not become fun anymore? And that's part of the reason I got out of it and started building show cars.
Well, caller,
because like I said,
let me tell you what fascinated me about a lot of this stuff. In the South, they call the wheelie bars sissy sticks. Now, no matter how much money you put in your car, how much money I put in my car, Mike, Tad, in their cars, no one wants to go out, do a wheelie, slam down, and tear your vehicle up. Do you realize half of these classes have a no wheelie bar concept, and they're tearing shit up for the crowd?
No. I will go on record and say that's not it. They're trying to do things that there's a consequence to, maybe we'll say, trying too hard. And I know that might sound incorrect.
Say it again, because you confused me.
All right. No wheelie bars. Don't get me wrong. The retard that wrote the rules might have said, well, look, wheelie bars don't belong on a street type car, so we just won't put them on there. But I think more than anything, what it is wheelie bars can be used as an assistance. They can help you get the car down. Like people look and see how much they touch and everything else. It's a tuning aid. There's a lot of reasons for wheelie bars.
But a wheelie bar keeps you from going and flipping your car up and slamming down. That's what a wheelie bar is for.
Okay, but you're making it sound like it's only for safety.
No, but it can be for safety.
Understood. But you know what else it is? It lets the car achieve a higher level of performance if utilized correctly.
But if the Southern guys call it a sissy stick, then why are you worried about my sissy stick and you want me to take it off?
Right. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is the reason that classes take stuff like that off is they're trying to equalize them. They're trying to stop. This is no different than the tires. It's really not. They're looking for ways. The best way to slow a car down is exactly what this guy just told us about, radials.
Yeah, that's cool.
Put a smaller tire on it, do this and do that. But the problem is that technology has gone so far what we can have for motors that it's
not going to have 3,000 horsepower up front and then regular radials that you can get in the Pep Boys on the back and think that's going to be exciting. And somebody's going to get hurt.
And exactly what the caller said is what happens with the circle track stuff to make the racing closer. And here's what happens. And unfortunately, and caller, I don't mean to step on what you're saying, but if you have guys that have money, they're going to find a way to maximize everything possible around that class. So what happens is when you throw a curve at something like a smaller tire or whatever, you equalize the class for a little bit because everybody's trying to figure it out. Just like we talked about with Pro Stock, that if this fuel injection thing does work, and we talked about it before the show, like 10 cars show up to the first national event, it's gonna mess shit up. Guys that aren't supposed to go as fast are probably going to be better, and what's going to happen is the good guys are going to excel. Well, in circle track, they'll make you put a smaller, harder tire on. They'll change tire compounds at the track, so there's a spec tire, and then everybody's effed up. And then the guys figure out the proper tire treatments and everything else, and now the game begins again.
Right.
And instead of spending money here, now you're spending money in tires. A guy might learn about radial tires that they're good for 6 or 7 passes, and then you got to get a new one. And then what are you doing? You're money is so tough to stop. And I can completely understand why this guy stopped bracket racing. The minute that somebody told me I had to buy $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of electronics to bracket race, you can keep it. You can keep it.
Yeah.
Well, and let me ask you this about the Pro Stock. We've got a group of friends here that we sit around and talk like you guys do, and that's what got me started on your show. Is who's to stop somebody from being in the stands? If people can hack a car and turn the steering and everything off like they're doing with the new Jeeps and stuff,
yeah, that was priceless.
What's to stop a competitor from glitching that ECM? Who's going to be able to tell?
I would have to think that is one of the main reasons that Alan, our resident engineer, doesn't quite agree with. This is why you have stuff from one manufacturer. So all the stuff should be identical.
Are you saying that there's a possibility from the stands that these cars can be influenced through technology?
Well, there could be. I mean, like what he was talking about with the Jeeps and the Dodges, that they're connected to, over a cell network to the outside world. And then people were finding a way to get into the car backwards. And, they're putting the brakes on. God forbid I had some shit like that. And I knew how to get into your car. You'd be driving down the road, a windshield wipers would turn on, all sorts of shit.
Oh, trust me, Mike's good for stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm a bastard. But
my question was, then how is NHRA going to monitor the 10.5 rev limiter if they don't have that kind of ability?
Well,
if they've got that kind of ability. Somebody else will find a way to get into it also.
I know how this works. They don't have any, and again, I'm talking half out of my ass here because I don't know for sure. I don't think they have any data connection, Wi-Fi, or cellular ability. I don't think there's anything like that. But the way that NHRA and the way that the local short tracks police stuff like this, when they put a box in place, Dirt Motorsports did it for the 7200 chip rule or whatever in 358. They tell you have to use an MSD, and it was like DTN or whatever, which stood for Dirt, Track National, some shit. And you had to buy that box. A rev limiter was fixed. Basically, you had a soft touch chip value on the board, so it only went to 7200. So if anybody was suspect of having something goofy, they had a whole pile of them. So give me your box.
Right.
You give it to the guys, and they give you another one. They write your name on it, put a seal on it, send it to MSD. If it's cheated up, you're out.
Wow. Okay.
And you're out for a year.
Wow, that's like CSI.
But that's kind of, but see, now understand that if all the shit isn't the same, you can't do that. Now, with these computers, nobody should be into the computer, like changing anything electrically or hardware-wise in a computer. So if you have your software from the computer, and the computer, the rev limiter is a hard set rev limiter that software can't get around it. It's a value that is kind of like an MSD box would have a value. If there was a hard modification made and a guy just made, like NHRA might make it a rule, say, look, if you run within, 1% of the record, we're going to swap your box out. And we're going to give you another box. Shouldn't matter. Put your software in it. Go back to racing.
Right.
So, but this is again, the rule changes again made by people that really don't have a full grasp of what it entails. It gets tough.
Right.
Well, yeah, like I said, we were using back in I'm gonna say 2002 with the Outlaw 10.5 car for traction control. We were using, that's back when MSD come out with that 7AL plus with the slew limiter and all that. So we could actually change the ramp on the RPM to the point where it wouldn't blow the tires off and wouldn't let it rev faster than what it should if it was making a hard pass.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And look, I completely agree with you. It's, the bottom line is that all this shit costs money. I mean, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about RC cars or you're talking about drag cars, it will all eventually get out. Like the guy Scott, he's on here all the time. He says, I know bracket racing isn't the most exciting thing, but there's no way I could afford to run a heads up class. Agreed. That's why bracket racing came out, because all the people that were either very good or had a lot of money, the same people all the time. And then it takes people out of the class, and then there's less people. Right. So they're always trying to find ways to level things, to level the playing field. I don't know, man. The whole thing just sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's I can't wait for when it is February with the down in South Georgia Motorsports with the $50,000 to win at the Radio Versus the World that Duck X Productions put up $50,000, and who knows what's coming to that? They're talking. There's people building pro mods and strapping 315 radials on these things to go down there and win $50,000.
Right, but it's getting ridiculous.
Drag racing's dying, but people say drag racing's dying, but yet you've got with the last radio race, you had 67 cars trying to get in a 32 car field in one class.
Yeah, and that's healthy and that's nice to see. That kind of stuff. Like if they come up with a way. But the problem is kind of almost always has to evolve, because sooner or later people will either A, realize, this was a little harder than I thought, or B, just get blown out of the box so far they just throw in a towel.
Right. Well, Ducks race is it's become a very good race. I saw it come from a small race to now it's a very good race. So Duck is good in the promotion aspect of that, and it's a really tough event.
And Tyler Crosnow's not far behind him doing his stuff at Memphis and everything else.
Right.
With his streetcar reunion and stuff. And, Duck's the one that taught him, he's the one that learned under Duck. So
right.
There's still hope out there that there's still plenty of racing. But like I said, I really don't know if NHRA is going to see another 10 years, especially with pro stock. After the rules and everything I saw, like I said, it just, yeah. And then letting Elite Motorsports, from what I hear, who didn't even field the Western Swing last year, is now going to have Mopar and Chevrolet under their banner.
Yep. And you know what that means? That means a lot of research and development time with the injection stuff, and a lot of backing to do that. See, this is the problem, man.
The money comes in again.
Yep. And and we were just talking about this. Now, some of the stuff that I heard, I can't tell you where I heard it, but you can read some of it on the internet if you poke and prod, and you can find little things. But there's a bunch of people saying that they believe that come opening race for 2016 of NHRA, they will have 10 cars or less in NHRA Pro Stock.
For a possible what?
I heard 8 to 9.
Yep.
8 to 9 for how many in the field?
Normally 16.
Normally 16.
And keep in mind, that's 16 that, because look, like Alan's guy, and I'm not hating on the guy. The guy's a very nice guy. It's the guy named Jeff. He knows that he's not competitive, but he kind of has a car that looks like a pro stock, would fit into the pro stock rules. I mean, you might look at it and be like, well, that's pretty stupid. You got a shitty cylinder head. You don't have what you could have. Right. Well, hell yeah, you can run it if you want to, but you're going to be the guy that goes, in the bottom sevens when everybody else is flying. But at least it fills the field. We need people in the show, right, even if they're not
a guy
the
like
show.
That. A guy like that won't even show up.
Now he can't go. Flat hood, got to have injection. He's going to go there and be like, look, dude, you're bounced out of tech. What do you mean? I'm down probably 300 horsepower from these guys. They're like, well, sorry, you don't fit the rules.
Right. That's crazy.
So now any of the outliers that didn't have a lot of money or couldn't compete, now to go through this whole transition, yeah, I agree with the caller here. I think there could be, 8, 9, 10, and that would be a real black eye for NHRA.
What's sad is if you think about it, 4 of them are going to be elite.
True.
With Nobile, Erica, Butner, and who's the other one? And then you've got with if Summit doesn't come back, Jason Lyon's out of a job unless he finds someone somewhere else. You've got only one car with KB. There's 5 of the 8 already.
Well, didn't Summit say they're out? Didn't they say that they're kind of done with this?
Well, from what I heard, it was rumors. and they said they hadn't made up their mind yet. But usually that means that, yes, it's probably more than likely done.
So it just looks like for 2016, we have to keep our eyes open and our ears open. See how it pans out.
Listen,
I just find it hard that the Johnsons are going to leave and just let it go away.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I realized that was going to happen whenever they did the thanks for 20 years on the car this last weekend.
Yeah, that's a tough blow.
I should say
that's a tough blow.
It's it's progress. It probably had to happen. They probably had to go to fuel injection, but again, what generally happens, and I am a champion of some of the ways that they've done this. I like the fact that they nailed down the injectors. They nailed down the computer. They kind of capped you off to where what they were trying to do here was stop people from spending much more money than the next guy, because you've got so many, and that's one of the ways you accomplish this is with spec parts. But like the caller said, you hope the guy's in jacking with his box. You got some guy that'll modify these boxes and the price tag is $50,000 to sneak in and do something to your Holly box. We'll say that in a perfect world doesn't happen. But the implementation of all this, you went from sheet metal manifolds that maybe if a real good guy, could afford to get a low profile manifold to put the throttle body in the front and do everything required to get the flat hood on the car. Well, the low budget guy, he'd be just as happy as maybe if he could put 4 fake 4-barrel throttle bodies, like fake carburetors on top, and put fuel rails in and buy all the shit and at least give it a shot. Mm-hmm. Now there's such a drastic change. All those guys got to throw manifolds out, everything. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Well, and I read something about they're already making instead of making new hoods, they're making the patch panels for where the hood is, and actually making ducking or something for them. And I haven't seen anything on that yet. But once again, where does it stop?
Well, definitely when they go out there, make sure you call in so we can chat about this again. Because
well, caller, what's your name?
My name's Joe. Hey, I'm the guy from usually the chat room.
Oh yeah, I know who you are.
Oh,
yep,
okay.
Yep, I see him in there. I watch the chat from time to time, but it's kind of tough because I got a lot of shit flashing and stuff I got to look at.
Okay, well, thanks for calling, man. Your input was good. I like your mentality, and we definitely have to have you back on when we discuss the first event.
Yeah.
I appreciate talking to you guys. Like I said, it gives me something to do.
All right, man. Tell your friends. And, look, I say this and everybody says, oh, you shouldn't apologize for your show. Look, sometimes it's going to be good. Sometimes it's going to be bad. And sometimes you go to your buddy's shop and you sit down and you talk and you're like, all right, fuck this, I'm out of here. And some days you'll sit there until 3 o'clock in the morning. It's just kind of how it is here. You know what I mean?
Just car guy stuff.
But hopefully, like I said, if you guys are going to PRI, I'll see you there. So.
I still haven't decided. I might do that. I'm still on the fence about going out to SEME just because I think I'd like to go out to Las Vegas without having to run around like an idiot. So I don't know. I'd like to do a little bit more traveling and I got some time. We'll see. But we'll let everybody know where we're going. That's for sure.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
It's nice to have a good caller.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was good. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And insightful. And I completely understand with him about the bracket racing bullshit with all the, thousands of delay boxes and all that. And, Scott, he's on all time too. I understand what he's saying. You can't afford to race heads up.
Right.
So I don't know.
I tried, but
Tad, heads. All right. Let me ask you a question. What were the rules for your class? Please explain to me the rules of your class.
The rules, you had to have a stock gas tank. And you had to be running, actually, I think you had to be running pump gas.
Pump gas.
Which I know a lot of guys weren't, but they're letting people run nitrous.
Was this a Subaru class?
No,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was Subaru Reverse Evo, and it was open class. You just had to have a cat tank, pump gas, crap like that, and everybody's running nitrous. They're running. It was impossible.
Let me ask you a question,
Yeah.
Todd. How fast were the fast guys going in your class?
No, the fast guy went 9s.
And how fast were you running?
12.5s.
Okay.
But
now, if more people with a fully functional, developed brain went into your class, exactly how long would you consider going back there? I'm going to keep going back there. When most cars...
It was off 3 seconds?
Yeah. So, I mean, what that either means is that the Subaru event for heads up is very much like I witnessed. And again, I will I will stipulate this does not mean people like JJ and Junior and the guys that have a shit together. It's for the retard that brought a Subaru down there that doesn't know when to shift. I mean,
are you tooling on the Subaru guys?
No, but he should be, because most of them are idiots. But the thing is, when I was there, that's the thing. If I'd gotten another run through the guy Ridlet, the fast guy, the guy with the 9-second car, had a freaking 3-second 60 foot.
Yeah,
because he's sitting there like trying to get it in the boost. Okay. You're already halfway down the track.
But I mean, I don't know. See, just like
from a competitive standpoint, I'm not joining a class that I'm 3 seconds behind and competing in a heads-up class.
And the fact that you could actually
that's what
sort of okay. With this, right? That to me, it's like, I don't know, going to a special school and teasing the kids.
To side with Tad, he was enjoying himself and having fun.
He was.
Some people don't mind being 7, 8, 9.
I don't want to be bracket.
I got to be 1, 2, or 3.
Now listen, yeah, exactly. I
if I'm 3, I'm mad.
Far be it from me to be a quitter. I don't normally quit. Okay, the circle track stuff. Let me tell you, anybody out there that makes fun of these guys could be dumb as a stump, but they know what they're doing, right. And it's frustrating for me to look at this guy that probably didn't even graduate high school. And he's whooping the shit out of us because we can't make the car turn because they learned something that their father learned in the 1930s.
Right.
And it makes me crazy. But back to you, Todd. I agree. That whole Subaru thing was, and here, now since Tom's not here and nobody's here to give me a hard time, I'm going to tool
to rein you in
on NASIOC. So all you guys on NASIOC that are listening, you might want to strap in. And I have not read it.
Did the phone board light up?
No, because there's not a whole lot of people listening tonight. But I got to say this because I did go read through this proven power.
Yeah.
All right, like the retard. Yes, the retard that called in, and I don't care if that's not politically correct. I'm not going to tell you that you're.
Who was the retard?
The guy that called in that was questioning the dyno numbers on the car that just went in the 8s.
Right.
Okay, listen to me, you moron. If the car went that fast, I don't give a shit what the dyno said. The car went that fast. Right. If it went that mile an hour, it's what it made. Now, here's why those guys are talking about proven power and they're worried about dyno numbers. Because after what I saw at the Subaru event, 95% of these idiots can't get the car to go down the track. So the only thing they can brag about is the dyno number because they got a prayer in hell of pulling their head out of their ass and getting down the racetrack.
Got you. I understand. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. What a bunch of circus.
Well,
you had to be there and listen to these guys hitting the Revliner.
Look at me trying to digress. Well, I'm looking for a new dually.
Are you trying to derail my hatred? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to keep some listeners.
Look, no, listen.
They're going to be outside. They're going to be outside with picket signs and shit.
Hatred is universal. Everybody likes hatred from time to time. And look, that guy, I don't know why, but that guy, like I listened to that show the other day. Somebody had said something about it, and I wanted to listen specifically to what they were talking about.
Well, he was just calling in to crash the mood. The mood was good. The show was good. And he had hater written on his first comment.
I would love
That's all about imports.
Yeah, I would love to believe that you are correct, Crunch, but I don't believe so. I think that guy is so stupid. He doesn't know he's stupid. That's why.
He tried to throw shade. That's what we call it. And he tried to throw shade.
Swerve, yeah.
Right. And when you have a mile an hour and a weight, it's an automatic horsepower number to go with it. So those that know. Those that don't.
But do you really think that the guy was calling just a tool on Junior?
Yeah.
But I mean,
he was a hater. He was trying to throw shade because they actually did the mile an hour. So he thought, well, let me just throw this in there, and the ones that don't know will go with what I'm saying.
I'm not buying it, dude. I think the guy was just that stupid that he doesn't really understand.
No, that was some hater stuff there. He calculated that.
Or it's with another tuner that's claiming, no, you made the more horsepower, you can beat him,
Well, I give all the Subaru guys that go to the track and try to get down the track, I give them credit for giving it a shot.
Is there like a whole community of Subaru guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, listen.
Can I get a shirt or something?
Probably.
Walk around. I know somebody with a Subaru.
Might have a rainbow.
You can get a NASIOC shirt. Oh, whoa, that was bad.
Wow.
Sorry, Tom.
Wow.
The Forester.
Oh,
but they're awful.
We don't have any sound effects for that.
No.
Far left, something. Meat, something.
No sound effects for that.
Oh man.
The Subaru guys turned out, and Subaru and Evo guys both, I give them a lot of credit. They can organize an event. A lot of people there. And for the most part, if you weren't concerned about the quality of the racing, it was a good time.
Right.
Got to meet people, got to look at cars. Some of them are beautiful.
Don't forget, we showed up with a Subaru-powered Corvette. We had people all over that thing.
People probably didn't get to hear all that last week.
Oh, yeah, your yellow Corvette?
Yeah, we
pulling it in.
We went in with the Corvette, and the girl's like...
Can I take pictures?
Well, no, she said something like about like, I don't know, 2. And I said, well, can you race? And I was like, would you believe me if I said it had a Subaru motor in it? And
she said
like,
no.
No. Like there was no. But the funny thing about that is that, Tad and I parked the car because Tad had his Tad card, his handicap card.
Spot.
Yeah, because he did get run over by the escort. If you don't know about that, go back and listen a few minutes.
He's legally handicapped with a real handicap sticker.
Different car, but
yes,
anyway.
He does.
Did you abuse the handicap sticker?
Well, not really, because Tad.
I'm saying, but did you guys park somewhere?
No, we couldn't find a handicap spot as a problem, so we had to go park where we parked.
Okay.
And it was behind the show cars, and then some guy comes over to tell us we can't park there, and he goes, "Oh, I know Tad," and okay, you can park there, no problem. We get out of the car.
Did he say, "I know Tad from Power and Speed"?
No. See, here's the problem.
We didn't have the shirts.
As most of the listeners are probably ascertained by now, Tad is a little hard to forget. When you meet Tad, he makes an impression. Now, that impression, I'll leave it up to the listeners, but he does make an impression. So anyway, the guy said, just park.
He said it's fine where we were.
Yeah, where we parked to like the left of the refreshment stand, the food court area, and it like drops down a little bit. There's like a little hill, and then there's another little makeshift building there that something goes in, like probably
cheesesteaks or whatever during the swap meet.
I don't go there enough to know. And we parked between an ice box, like I think where they actually put ice inside it.
Yeah.
And this little stand. And that way I figured nobody could, get parked next to me or anything was out in the open. So nobody
scratch your doors.
Yeah. Right. And then so Tad and I now poor Tad here, the guy with the handicap sticker, we're walking up and down the track looking for these guys. And
we come back and we see a girl like bending over the car and another girl taking pictures of her with her cell phone. That's like, and then all of a sudden other people are all looking at the vet and,
Maybe I should be looking for a Corvette.
It was just funny because you're at a Subaru thing and we're parked around the Subaru car show stuff. You're going there to look at Subarus and people are taking pictures of a stock Corvette as a kid.
Well, it's a nice looking car, Mike.
Thank you, but it's just a Corvette. I mean, you got some things there that are, listen, I got to tell you, some of those Subarus are pretty neat. They reminded me of like
done up.
Like overdone RC cars, like with big wide
flares
tires and flares, and they look like the rally cars. Like that shit's neat.
I can't
wait, Mike's favorite thing, the two-step show.
The picket sign outside will be funny.
They had the two-step show where they come up there and they hit their two steps. Or as Junior puts it, you should be handing out cards there to rebuild their motors.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, what the hell are they doing? I was like, this is an import thing.
And Tom explained to me that's anti-lag or whatever. And Tom did also explain to me that his car will not sound like it has a fart can.
And it's got one.
He's got a fart can. The thing comes up the driveway here. But the good thing about the two-step show is that I will say, and I guess I'm getting too old. I'm 47.
Right.
I'm too old.
Tom, it's not me. This is Crunch. It's not me.
Yeah, I'm too old for this shit because the reason that the two-step, not that it only bothered me, because Tom said that's anti-lag. Okay, whatever. The good thing about the two-step show is they stopped the music.
Yeah. Oh, that more.
So you can hear. Brrr.
Yeah. So when the two-step show was going on, they stopped. But I mean, the music was obnoxiously loud, and it was. And I'm not saying if it's too loud, you're too old. It was awful.
Well, what do Subaru people listen to?
I don't know.
Was it hip hop?
It's import crap.
Reggae?
I don't know.
Heavy metal?
It was almost as bad as a shit Tad listens to in another direction.
Christmas
in the other
song?
direction.
Something.
No, it was. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, and I like club stuff.
Elevator music? Something?
No. It was. There's probably
That's just my comedy.
No, I hear you, but there's probably like a genre of music that this fits into.
That goes with that?
I guess so. Like it's
like Corvette guys have Corvette socks and shoes.
Yeah.
So what do the Subaru guys listen to?
I don't know if
that's not the Subaru guys. Trust me.
Is that just an import thing?
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know what defines that as import music. I don't know, but it's kind of like background music that you'd hear on like Fast and Furious and shit.
Yeah,
like
it's that type crap.
I have to go look at a movie now just to hear it.
Well,
you just regret doing it.
so that was my hatred on the NASIOC guys. Proven power.
I can't wait to see this outcome.
You're retards. And, listen, feel free to call up and tell me why I'm wrong, and if you went fast, God bless you, and you get your car to go down the track, then you're doing what you're supposed to do. I said, but 90% of you're morons. Sorry.
Okay, next show, my dually. I'm looking for a Chevy, maybe a Ford. I want to know the difference in Dodge, Chevy, and Ford.
Dodge.
Dualies. I want to hear that next show.
I could weigh in.
Yeah, I know, but let's save it for another show because I'm still shopping around.
Are you really going to consider something other than a Chevrolet?
Probably not, but because I want to show my progression in being a better person when it comes to compromising, I'm going to give Chrysler and Ford a shot.
Chrysler, yes. Ford, no.
Ford looks good to me.
Oh.
I like the front face. The chrome. The Ford is tough, bro. Coming at me. The Ford is tough.
But now hold on a minute here.
Go ahead.
It's important to note that even though while the Crunchster is buying a new truck, it is not a diesel.
No, it's
You're
not
buying
a
a gas truck.
Yeah, I'm buying a gas truck. And I want the small motor too, 6.0. Yeah, that's me. I don't want diesel. I can't stand diesel. They said diesels don't make noise anymore. I don't want diesel. I don't want to have to go get diesel fuel.
What? It's everywhere, dude.
My truck only has 255 horsepower. The new 6.0 for my truck is 360. That's way more than I need to pull these enclosed trailers. I guess
if you take a step, and the other thing is too, is that when I think maybe, and you should have a little bit of this too. The car guys, they don't want to be like, they want to jump on their truck. The goal is to make the thing on the back not make the truck any slower than when the thing ain't on the back. That's the idea. You want the thing to be ridiculous.
You know what my goal is? I don't want black smoke everywhere when I hit the gas pedal.
It's not like that, dude.
The diesel pedal, not the gas pedal.
Yeah. It's not like that.
Man, half of these guys when they're going up a hill is smoke everywhere. I don't want that.
That's because
I'm not a diesel guy.
That's because they're doing dumb shit. That's why.
Listen, my little dually did his job. I just want a 6.0 Chevy, small block, 410 gears, and I'll pull the enclosed just as good as everybody else.
Well, Scott is definitely going to be weighing in because he's already saying, Crunch, the diesel rocks.
Yeah.
870 foot-pounds of torque, and it's quiet as hell. No smoke.
I beg to differ.
Listen, those...
You look at somebody's old POS that they modified.
And I didn't know what it was called. But we have out here in Hillbilly Land.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep. Out here in Hillbilly Land, we have all the guys with pickups have decided that they don't have pickups. They have tractor trailers.
Oh, with the stacks.
The stacks. You've probably seen them around
here. The chrome stacks.
Yeah.
Big 4-inch.
Do you see them down around your way or no?
Nah, we don't.
The big 5-inch center stack.
Yeah.
We have an anti-stack rule in Essex County.
Okay. Well, because you know what? If you got cops that are a little bit more of a dick, I can't imagine that's kind of falls into being legal.
Because you have to eliminate everything, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can look. The reason for the big diameter stack is the exhaust velocity slows down. So if you get a rich running diesel, essentially an over-fueled diesel, they'll smoke black. And what's that called, Tad?
Rolling coal.
Rolling coal. So what these guys are doing,
it's a term for
it's a term for the idiots that want to make tons of smoke.
Right. Hit the outro music.
I'm just clearing this up on you. When you see diesel smoking like that, that's because the retards make it do that. That's why they do that. I'm not saying that a diesel truck, and you get to a point where, yes, you're putting a little extra fuel in the... dude, before you buy one, just promise me you'll drive one. Think about that.
I've driven my friends. They all have diesels. They're powerful. They feel a whole lot stronger than my truck, but guess what? I don't want diesel. Outro music. That's the clue, right? That's the key.
There's no reason other than you don't want to have to go to a special fuel pump.
It's just I've been against diesel. I'm a truck driver. I have diesel. I drive every week with diesel.
Yeah, but you're thinking about not a busted ass truck, but just like I
don't want a diesel dually. Not me. I
brought my Subaru here.
I definitely wouldn't buy a Subaru.
There you go.
I so much slit my neck before I did that.
Well, What I would like is a brand new Yukon or Suburban with a Duramax. So GM, please get on that stat because the excursions get a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back next week. Hopefully Tom will be here, although I think I have a sneaking suspicion he's got to go somewhere again. So we'll see y'all next time. Say goodnight, Tad.
Good night, Tad.
Later.